Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. 13 jobs at the University of Tasmania are on the chopping block and several faculties could be merged under a proposed restructure as the institute grapples with financial challenges. The National Tertiary Education Union wants the plan stopped, while the state's peak tourism group is calling for certainty to ensure the industry's workforce pipeline isn't impacted.
As financial challenges and declining student enrolments in several subject areas take their toll, the University of Tasmania is proposing staffing cuts and a faculty shake-up.
These changes are significant in that we are seeking to re-establish new structures for the schools of humanities, creative arts and social sciences.
Under the plans, 13 jobs could be slashed through targeted and voluntary redundancies, a prospect that has academics rattled.
To be told that their career is, in effect, chopped off at the knees was a shock to them.
Mergers are also being considered, including bringing humanities and social sciences together, separating media from music and performing arts, and shifting police and emergency management, along with social work, to UTAS Health.
Our priority remains delivering compelling and exciting and meaningful courses for our students, but we need to do that at a scale that we can afford.
But the Tertiary Education Union isn't convinced all the changes will be for the better.
I think it's an overstep from the university.
The state's peak tourism body is expected to meet with UTAS leaders next week to express concerns over the cancellation of graduate certificate and diploma courses, which are due to wrap up in November.
The industry also needs thought leaders. They also need researchers telling us the best practice ways to be doing things.
Along with existing topics, the university insists new programs in its outdoor and environment education are looking promising.
We believe that by targeting Tasmania's unique industry profile, we can be very competitive.
Staff will be consulted on the proposed changes over the next 4 weeks. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
More than $1 million worth of methamphetamine won't be hitting Tasmanian streets after a major bust on the Spirit of Tasmania. A Bracknell woman is now facing trafficking charges after a routine search at the ferry terminal.
To the untrained eye, these blobs don't look all that impressive, but broken up, they'd amount to roughly 35,000 street deals of ice.
It would have caused significant harm to our Tasmanian community.
A routine search of a car exiting the Spirit of Tasmania at Devonport, uncovering the 3.5 kilograms of methamphetamine, as well as 5 litres of GHB, also known as fantasy.
It's significant volume. We have had other significant seizures in the past. But I guess any importation of drugs into Tasmania is a concern.
A 27-year-old Bracknell woman is now facing several charges, including trafficking. As an island state, there are only so many places you can enter Tasmania, and police use that to their full advantage with random searches for all kinds of illegal items.
It gives us certain locations that we can target, all of our air sea terminals, but also the mail centres as well, to try and disrupt the importation of illegal substances, but other items such as firearms into our state.
Smaller quantities of methamphetamine and cash were also seized in separate incidents across the northwest.
We really like to target those that think that they will make a profit out of distributing drugs.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
There's an urgency tonight to locate a man missing from Hobart's eastern shore. Police issuing a call for information to anyone who might have seen Greg Pearton. The 63-year-old disappeared from the Rokeby area yesterday around 4 p.m. Police have deployed drones and a helicopter and believe he may be in the Rokeby, Glebe Hill or Howrah areas.
We believe he's probably wearing a black hoodie and black track pants. But he will kind of stick out because he's got a medical condition which does make him hunch quite over.
The man's family holds serious concerns for his welfare as he lives with a medical condition.
We're pretty scared. This is a long time without his medication. He really needs it. We need to get him home.
Anyone who has seen Greg or has information about his whereabouts is urged to contact police. The opposition has taken aim at the state government's spending track record ahead of the state budget later this month. Around $500 million was requested after the last budget was delivered to cover health spending, which the Shadow Treasurer says is just one example of financial mismanagement.
It's really important that we get an honest budget this year in terms of government expenditure and government expenditure growth.
Our next budget, as you said, will be handed down later this month, so we've got guidelines for how we do that. We've got a budget which is going to chart our path back to surplus.
The Liberals say Labor should outline their plans for the budget. Josh Willey insists they'll announce further measures this year. A move to increase access to healthcare by widening the range of treatments and services offered by pharmacists is receiving mixed reviews. The state government says the $5 million investment is about further reducing pressure on our hospitals.
Making daily common conditions more able to be treated in communities without an appointment with a GP or going into a hospital.
Consumers are really wanting to access healthcare timely and safely, and I really think that we've been a big part of delivering that.
But the move has been described by the Medical Association as misguided and putting patients at risk. The state's largest transport infrastructure project is just weeks away from opening, with the final touches being made to the Bridgewater Bridge before it welcomes traffic on June 2. The public is being invited to mark the milestone with a community celebration and bridge walk taking place from 10 a.m. on Sunday, June 1.
Infrastructure that's here in Tasmania has always been of an awesome quality. This really takes us a step forward into international standards.
After more than 900 days of construction, the bridge is set to improve travel times, safety and help connect communities across both sides of the River Derwent. Tasmania's construction industry is rallying behind the Devils AFL club, with major projects promising hundreds of future jobs. But with the Macquarie Point Stadium still needing to pass a major hurdle, the club's AFLW debut has been pushed back.
Forklift safety might not be Rumman's strong suit, but making an entrance clearly is. The mascot enduring a light-hearted moment, highlighting serious construction opportunities tied to the Tasmanian Football Club, with one major project on everyone's mind.
There's an estimation of 600 workers could be building the stadium in Hobart, and of that, there could be 1 in 5 apprentices attributed to that job.
With upgrades already underway at UTAS Stadium and the AFL High Performance Centre on track for a 2027 finish, construction workers know the chance to build a stadium from the ground up is rare.
To have the opportunity to work on that project is something that many people in the industry will aspire to be involved in.
But the stadium project still needs to pass both Houses of Parliament before it can break ground.
It's going to unlock a multitude of opportunities for skills, for apprenticeships, for construction jobs now and into the future.
Meanwhile, there's a timeline update for the club's debut. Originally set for March 2027, the Devils AFLW team will now start a year later.
The men would start March 28, and so on that basis, there'd be an opportunity for the women to maybe start in August 28.
The club boss also confirming while appointing a senior coach isn't his immediate priority, discussions have already begun, including a chat with Premiership coach Nathan Buckley.
Nathan's an experienced coach and, as I said, he's been very successful. But there are others. And
while the Devils await a home, Tasmania's construction industry is ready on the sidelines. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, dozens of Tasmanian workers have tested their mental sharpness in a series of team-building challenges in Hobart. The annual Mind Games event raises awareness and funds for research into workplace mental health.
Businesses are more aware that people don't want to work for workplaces that they just are going to end up burnt out, and people want to be looked after and cared for.
ANZIS does lots of research on mental health, from things about brain chemistry and structure through to how can the workplace be supportive to helping you get treatment that you need.
Since 2019, over $300,000 has been raised for the Menzies Institute. It might be worth getting the winter woolies out this weekend, with a cold front set to see temperatures plummet. Snow is forecast to fall to 500 metres in some parts of the state, with west and southwest bearing the brunt of the icy blast. Mount Field, the Harts Mountains and Kanani Mount Wellington are all in for a dusting. Of course, Murph will have the full weather forecast later in the bulletin. A support centre is helping dozens of Tasmanian children living with hearing loss. One family has shared their story with 7 Tasmania News, explaining how it's helped their son's language skills thrive, meaning he can now attend school.
Well, baking monster biscuits looks like fun and games. Activities like this are just one of the ways that 7-year-old George develops his listening and speaking skills.
It's actually helped George a lot. He's actually saying full sentences now and he's wearing both his hearing aids.
George lives with severe hearing loss, something mum Zara first noticed when he was just 3.
He could not talk or anything like that. He was getting very frustrated.
George is just one of 46 Tasmanians to receive support from the Shepherd Centre at Montague Bay, a team of audiologists, speech pathologists and counsellors helping ensure children like him have access to the support they need.
We know that it can have a really big impact on them learning to listen and speak. So our support focuses on giving them the best possible start.
Similar centres operate across the country, including in Launceston. The 2 Tasmanian sites receive bipartisan support and government funding.
It's accessible to all of southern Tasmania. I know a lot of parents with children who have health issues don't like going into the city. It's harder to get a park. Even just going back into the hospital can be traumatising for some of those families.
A reminder, help is available for parents who think their children could benefit from a helping hand.
Go with your gut. If you think something is not right and you want a second opinion, definitely.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Young Tasmanians have had their say on key issues which affect them and seizing the chance to voice ideas and solutions at the 2025 Tasmanian Youth Forum.
Today is incredibly important. It provides an opportunity for young people from across the state to come together to talk about how government and decision makers can more meaningfully engage with them.
I'm hoping to see some of the ideas that we put forward today actually maybe put into action by the people in power here today.
More than 120 young people aged 12 to 25 from across the state took part in the event. An award-winning Tasmanian business is about to take on the world. Turner's may be famous for its locally produced gin, but its skillful distillers have branched out into producing another kind of spirit.
A toast to a Tasmanian business success story.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
Northern Tasmanian distillery Turner Stillhouse ready to launch 2 new products, including a bourbon-style whiskey made entirely from Tasmanian ingredients. The product's not only ready for the domestic market, it's taking on America, the home of bourbon.
We are proud to be Tasmania's first and only spirit exporting to the US market. In 4 states now and counting, so you'll find our 3 cuts range in the best bars in New York and Los Angeles.
I couldn't be prouder of what they've been able to achieve, exporting fantastic product right across the globe, and we know that US market is a challenging market.
The Premier using the occasion to spruik the government's $3 million investment in a new trade strategy in the upcoming state budget to replace that first delivered by Jeremy Rockcliffe in 2019.
We've increased our export capacity to $6 billion. Annually out of Tasmania.
We know how important it is as a government that we are investing in our trade strategy for this state, because we know that it means producers like Justin can see that our government has a plan for the future.
The Premier says the strategy will provide a platform and backing for businesses to grow and for creating jobs. It will also provide opportunities to capitalise on new markets.
So we don't have the reliance on just one market. China, for example, was about 44% of the export market 6 years ago. It's now around 32%.
And after all is said and done, the only thing left to do was to raise a glass to Tasmanian businesses taking to the world stage. Matthew Watson, 7 Tasmania News.
Keen young cricketers have seized the chance to have a hit on the turf of Ninja Stadium. As part of a RecLink partnership with Cricket Tasmania, the students met some of the state's top players with the hope of inspiring the next generation of athletes.
It's a privilege. Maybe one day me and Addie can come play here professionally.
The opportunity to be here on this venue where they've seen their idols. Mitch Owen, of course, went berserk, and that's already been joked about quite a bit today.
Over the past 2 weeks, more than 250 students from years or grades 7 to 10 have taken part in the series.
And a semi-finals in the Lacaselle Jack and statewide cups. South East United will take on Launceston City, while the Riverside Olympic coach has a clear message ahead of his team's clash against South Hobart.
Win, and it's no backing down, is win. We're in a semi-final, we have to go with that mentality.
Meanwhile, the Women's Statewide Cup, University is hoping for the upset of the season when they host reigning champs Devonport Strikers.
We just want to play to our abilities and make sure that we stick to our plans and just be competitive.
Glenorchy Knights face South Hobart. Both of those games will be held at Valley Road.
Good evening. Hobart and Bushy Park our top today with 19, 18 in Launceston, Devonport and Burnie 17 degrees. A cool night for some last night with Lyowini dropping to -4, St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Grove all 18, Smithton 17, Low Head and the Islands 16, 15 today at Strawn and 11 the top at Lyowini. Cloud over the west and south of the state with a definite band to the southwest with a cold front clipping the bottom of us. We also have a little bit of scattered cloud over the north and east, a bit of rain at Mount Reid and Flinders Island today. Zian had 4 millimetres too. A southerly flow has cloud pushing along the southern coastline of the nation. Large areas of cloud over Queensland and northern New South Wales as well. Tomorrow a cold front moves over the Tasman Sea as a large high becomes the big player on the map. The wind south-southwesterly 20 to 30 knots with swells up to 5 metres in western and southern waters. Strong wind warning is on from St Helens Point down and around to Low Rocky Point, and snow to 500 metres has brought about a bushwalkers alert for the western and central plateau. Hobart tomorrow 11 and a possible shower. Just 7 for Maydena, 8 the top for Oatlands after a start of 2. 5 overnight for Launceston, partly cloudy and 13. 12 the high for Devonport. -3 for Lyowini, a snow shower and a maximum of 4 degrees. Burnie 12, partly cloudy. Showers for Strawn, 11 the top and 12 the high for Marrawar. And for St Helens tomorrow, 13, partly cloudy, Swansea 12 and just 11 for Orford. Bit of a freeze going on. On Sunday, morning frost, early showers over the far south, possible light hail over the west, otherwise fine. The chance of a shower over the west on Monday, fine and cool for the remainder of the state. And on Tuesday, inland showers over the north and west, but fine for other regions with northerly winds. Sunny and 26 in Perth, a shower for Adelaide and early in Melbourne tomorrow. A couple of showers also forecast for Sydney and Brisbane, but sunny over the far north of the nation. And here it's cloudy, 11 degrees, 12 degrees in Launceston, 12 and partly cloudy in Devonport. You know, Kim, I get plenty of mail here at the station, none of it very flattering, as you know. But today I've got something I have to show you, just to prove it was cloudy today. I'd like to thank Robin from Conningham for sending us her weather shot today of the cloud over the tree. Somehow, Kim, I think she may have sent it to the wrong station.
No, it's 2025. We do things digitally now, Merv. That is all your news for now. Lou will join you for your weekend local news, but for now, on behalf of the entire team, it is good night.